The future is now. Who can the Chiefs land? We are going to tell you exactly today as we go through the mock draft Monday for the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to Locked On Chiefs.
From the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs, this is the Locked On Chiefs podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Locked On Chiefs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on every platform for free, including YouTube, where you can like and sub and hit the bell right now. And over on the audio platforms where we'd love to hear your reviews. We have a lot going on. Thanks for making us your first listen. Check out the draft show. That's my favorite second listen. It might make you a little bit more knowledgeable as we go through this exercise. I'm Ryan Tracy from Rogue Analytics and Performance Consulting, home of the Athletic Matrix and the Athletic Matrix Draft Guide. You can get that over at rogueapc.com and use the code Locked On. A lot going on Monday. I'm ready.
Always fun doing the mock drafts. Lots going on and a lot to look at. You can find me at Chiefs Corner, as it says KC Chiefs Corner. You can go find the articles that I'm writing over there, talking a lot about the salary cap, where the Chiefs' cost is in draft capital and salary cap when it comes to the players that they have on the roster right now, going through a series. You can find that at KC Chiefs Corner. Let's go ahead and get this started. Here we go.
I had this up here. In my concept, you tell me what you want to do. I feel like they can't stay where they are, but I don't want to really explore the idea of trading away both 29 and 30. So what about we try to move up from 29 and back from 30?
Works for me.
Okay. So how high do you think we can get, and where do you want to try to get?
Well, you have to be attacking one of two positions if you're going to be trying to trade up. It's corner or sorry, not corner, although you could make an argument for corner if somebody fell. But edge and wide receiver are the two positions I would think you'd have to look at.
Agreed. And so I'm tempted to look at it. Let's be real. NFC teams are the only ones that are going to trade with the Chiefs. No one in the AFC is going to do it. They're all trying to catch up with them. So I'd like to look at Washington maybe and see what the demand is. Give them 29, ask for 11, and let's see, we'll give you 93. Not interested in that. Would have to give up 62 and at least another pick or two. Is that of your liking? Giving up 62, is that okay?
Going all the way to 11?
Yeah.
I think that's going to depend on who is going to be there.
Well, it always does, but just like Brett Veach, we're trying to get this so that we're in position now.
Yeah, I'm fine with it as long as I hate making this trade before we see who's there because it just might not be worth it at that point.
Yeah, but that's the way the real world functions right now. That's what the Eagles and Saints just did, right? They're trying to get in position. And I worry that if we wait till draft night, they're not going to have any takers. That if they want to get up, they probably got to do it before the draft starts.
Okay. Well, do it at 60 to see if they'll take the offer.
We can always hope. I'm just trying to wrangle everything I can here. So move up to 11. Got it done. That changes things. It starts the draft off. And now we have, obviously, people want to move up to that 11 spot as well. I'm not going to accept any of these. I just want to see what the offing is. We're not going to help them. They want to come back to us. That's really interesting. We'll try to be realistic because the Washington football team is not going to trade back with the pick we just gave them and then give us an even higher second and a fourth on top of it. But I see your face. You want to do that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, the other option would be now the Cowboys went up there with 24 and 56. So effectively, we would have done two trades, lost 2 sevenths, but would have moved from 29 to 24 and from 62 to 56.
I wouldn't decline that one. I'd decline the one for Washington. I'd leave that open because that gives you an option if the guy that you're trying to chase is not there.
So let's look at what has happened. Hutchinson, Willis, Evan Neal, the tackle, Ahmad Gardner goes, Ekwonu, Pickett goes to the Panthers, like that connection. Then Walker goes at 7, Thibodeau at 8, Charles Cross, Kyle Hamilton. What does that tell you, my friend?
All the wide receivers are available.
Everyone is available at the wide receiver position, and the last of the top...
Jermaine Johnson, yeah.
Exactly. The last of the edge rushers that can actually help you this season, I think, right off the bat and walk in and become a starter is still there. So despite having Jameson Williams available on the board for me, I am tempted to do that and corral the edge rusher they really need.
Can't say I can argue with that. Lots of ability to get a wide receiver later, and man, that would be really tempting if you're Kansas City.
The question for me is, do you think that Jermaine Johnson is worth that pick?
If he can step in and start, then yes. If he is going to be somebody that's going to take some time, then no.
Okay. So then the question becomes, do we take this pick and then worry about 30, or do we start looking ahead at what we can do at 30?
I think you make the pick and see who's available. I think you're going to have to, if you're going to be wanting to trade back, I think.
So Chiefs secure one of the blue chip edge rushers. Again, understanding that there's warts on all these edge rushers. Mm-hmm. Nobody is Nick Bosa in this draft. So we're not talking about that caliber, an elite prospect. We're talking about very good prospects. Now we're back on the clock at 30. We're getting an offer from the Texans for an additional 6th, which makes no sense. And then moving back 3, this is the one that I was thinking of, is moving back into the second round so somebody can thankfully take a quarterback probably, although not the Jaguars unless this algorithm is way off. We'll see what happens. But I would be securing something else is what I would be doing.
Yeah, what was I didn't see what the original offer was.
The original offer was a 7th and 33 for our 30th.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that doesn't make me happy.
I honestly would look at doing something like maybe 33 and flipping 65 and 103.
That is an interesting one as well. They're not having it, evidently, though.
Yeah,
so
I can't say I blame them.
Well, yeah, but there's more to be done because I think that area at top of the second. So maybe the Lions, maybe the Giants, some NFC teams. Let's see what we can do there.
Who's available again? Just
We're
curious.
Take a look at that in just a second. The big one being Elam and Hill are both there at 30. So is Burks. So is Lewis Sine. Sorry, I keep mispronouncing him. So is David Ajabo, which falling him into the second, I think makes sense. That might be somebody to target if we went back there. I think somebody's probably wanting to come up for Matt Corral. That's what I did in my mock last week for Locked On NFL Draft, and that's exactly the way that it worked out. Because what we saw just before us is Jahan Dotson went.
Olave went right before.
Right, with the pick that the Chiefs had.
Yep.
So, like, those are Dotson and Olave, I think, are the guys that are right in the range where the Chiefs could have a possible chance at. And now Treylon Burks being the next guy down. He is my 6th wide receiver on my board. So I don't know that I have the inkling to really trade for him, to tell you the truth. So what else can we get done with these here Lions? That becomes the question. And moving back to 34 doesn't seem to want to help us much. We can move up a little bit to 97, although that doesn't do a whole lot for us either. Not going to get up to 66, it appears. So then what? The Giants would be next? And try to get ourselves an opportunity to move back a little bit, pick up a wide receiver, and maybe if we fall to, say, 36, 38, 39 even, maybe that's Christian Watson territory. What would you think of that?
I would argue that I don't think that the Jets and the Texans are going to be opposed to trading with Kansas City.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that I agree with what you're saying for the most part. When you start talking about all the guys that are available, your top AFC teams, I think, will not be wanting to trade with Kansas City. But I would not be surprised to see any of the guys or any of the teams that are bottom dwellers. Sorry to put them in that category, but that's where they are.
That's what it is. And so when we look at this, here's what we're doing. Maybe I can even get them to swap some other picks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So 30, going back to 36 with the Giants. That is their second pick No, it would be their third. Sorry, they have 2 in the first round. 30 back to 36, but moving up from 103 to 81 and moving up from 121 to 112.
Yep.
That sounds intriguing to me. I say let's do that. You good?
Yep. Good.
Okay. And while we're waiting for that, let me tell you that Athletic Greens is the thing that you want to go get. 75 nutrients that help you on a daily basis increase your gut health, increase your immune health, help you get the nutrients that you can't get even if you ate 5 pounds of salad. It is packing nutrients and macros into everything that you need, adaptogens, all kinds of probiotics, and healthy things that are really simple. It's 1 scoop of their product, AG1 from Athletic Greens, into a cold cup of water. That's it. Shake, drink, you are nutrified, as I call it. And that goes a long way in helping you through your day, giving you energy, giving you the immune boost that you need to survive, the daily cold season, especially for those of us who have kids. Always a challenge. There's a lot going on there. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee at Starbucks or anywhere else. And it gives you everything that you can't get through your normal daily diet, drinks, etc. They make it really easy too. Right now, they're giving away a year supply of the immunosupporting vitamin D supplement, as well as 5 free packets of AG1. That's over at athleticgreens.com/NFL network. If you go there, that will help get you on the right track. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NFL network, and take ownership over your health and your immune system and the ultimate daily nutritional insurance that you need. And while you're there, you might as well be online. You might as well put something on the line. That's what I'm looking for. Whether it's the Masters that just happened, whether it's the next sporting event, there's a baseball season now. They seem to be doing this again. There's hockey playoffs. There's all kinds of things leading up to the draft props that you want to get into. Check that out over at their brand new website from any device that you like. Get all the information, the podcast, all the details that you need to be smart about where you put your money on the line. That's over at BetOnline, where the game starts. So it looks like the Giants have taken our offer, which moves us back a little bit. And so what did we see happen? I don't think we're interested in trading anymore, so I'm going to decline that. So what has happened? We moved out of 30. Scene went right there, then Burks, then Ajabo, then Elam, then Dax Hill, and then Ebiketie, a player that a lot of people like as a secondary edge guy, who I think can be a specific situational pass rusher. So now we're back on the clock at 36. A lot of the guys that I wanted there have gone, but you have Nagobi Dean still. You have Quay Walker, 2 Georgia linebackers that Walker's actually gaining a lot of momentum, and there's good reason to, because he's very, very underrated right now because of his lack of experience. A season or 2 starting with Dean really being the alpha there. You have Tyler Smith. I think he can play tackle as well. Kyler Gordon is probably the best corner on the board right now. And Sky Moore being a guy ranked at 40 by this machine that I think is a day 2 pick. Do you like him enough to select him at 36?
So where are we at? 36 and 50? We're still 50?
Let's double check that.
We made so many trades. I just want to verify. Okay.
Right. 36, 50, 81, 94, and 112.
Okay. Yeah, I think, man, you could still look at a lot of different positions. I still don't think Kansas City is going to be looking at a safety this high, unless Hill would be there. Then I would consider maybe that, but because he gives you so many different things, you could look at CB. I don't think that they'll look at another edge after going and getting Johnson.
Right.
So
Aaron Winfrey, the top interior defensive lineman, is available.
Yeah, is he going to provide a lot of pass rush is the question.
He can. I think the jury's out on him on whether he's going to have an impact as a rookie or not.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. And then you're looking, if you want a wide receiver, it's going to be, you have Christian Watson available. Cameron Thomas is still there, but you maybe could get him at 50, although I doubt it. So lots of different
we've already
areas.
Addressed edge, so that would be a luxury in my opinion.
It would be a luxury. But man, they need edges. And they need multiple. and I keep saying that because Frank Clark is gone in 2022 or 2023. So they're going to need somebody. That's really where I'm looking at. I do think that we need to probably address. The question is do you go wide receiver or corner?
For me, I think there is less starter depth at corner than there is at wide receiver, given what the Chiefs have in house. So for me, Kyler Gordon would be a better pick here than Christian Watson or Sky Moore because of what you already have signed to this roster right now. There are holes at corner. You could have a starting 3 right now at wide receiver.
Yep. So go with Kyler Gordon, and we will go to 50 and see what we get.
Okay. We'll see if there are options. I'm guessing there are.
Sky Moore's gone. Christian Watson's gone.
They both went. Now let's see. Bears are on the clock. They're wanting to trade back. I'm going to decline that.
Pickens just went too.
Yep. So
to Chicago.
To Chicago, yes. So now the second tier wide receivers is dwindling. I do have David Bell in that group, as well as John Mechie and Alec Pierce. So there are still a few options. Now we're at 50. We also have 81 and 94 coming. We have edge taken care of, at least a pick. We have corner with a pick. So the question becomes now, you're waiting a whole round to get down to 81.
Yep.
Is there somebody that makes you want to jump that for the wide receiver group? Bell, Mechie. I think those are both decent values here. Kyle Phillips, I would wait on. Khalil Shakir, I think we can wait on. Pierce, you can wait on. All guys that can contribute, but I'm not seeing anything. Unless it's Mechie, I don't see anything that makes me want to take this pick right now as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm with you right now.
Okay, so at 50, the way that this has fallen, we're looking at a lot of positions that they don't need. Running backs, they're not drafting at 50. Interior offensive line, they don't need. So this comes back down to some picks that we've seen before in Travis Jones. And where'd he go?
Chad Muma.
Chad Muma, exactly. So I think right now, when you're talking about pass rush, and that's our focus in this draft scenario, I think that Travis Jones is worth the 50th, in my opinion. I think I have him just slightly below that. I wouldn't call this a reach. It might be just a touch high, but that gives you interior pass rush to go with the fact that you just got Jermaine Johnson. Now you're talking Chris Jones, Travis Jones, Jones and Jones. Okay, I can get behind that. And then Johnson and Clark, and then we can maybe come back with a developmental edge later in the draft.
Yep, I think that's what you got to do. With Travis Jones sitting there, I think you have to take him.
Agreed. He won't be there at 80.
Nope.
So now we let time go by. And while this does, we're going to tell you about our other friends.
Our other friends over at Built Bar, and I'm sure Ryan has probably a couple of those sitting at his desk. There you go. Have you tried the puffs? If you've not tried the puffs, you're definitely missing out. They are one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. You absolutely need to give them a try. They are a fan favorite, whether it's coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. They are very, very good. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, that's 100% real chocolate, even the puffs. Go to Built.com and scroll down to the macros chart. You'll be blown away. High protein, low calorie, high fiber, and low carb. 130 calories in most bars, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar that has 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. Mint brownie, coconut almond. New for this month is white chocolate cookies and cream. I also got peanut butter brownie upstairs, as well as apple pie. That was a flavor from earlier. Lots of different flavors out there. Go check them out. Go to Built.com and use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com.
I like 50% off. I like Built Bars. Back on the clock at 81. We're going to try to finish this third round here and let you guys rest. Maybe we'll even take a fourth. Who knows? We're down to Kyle Phillips. I actually have him a little bit lower than this, so I'm not sure I'm there yet. The top 2 wide receivers available at 81 are both rated over 100 on this board. They are Khalil Shakir and Alec Pierce. So I don't know that it's a priority again that we're getting into the third tier. I think we can wait.
So you don't think that Tolbert fits the offense?
I'm not convinced.
Okay.
If you do, then we can go for it and address the need.
I just saw Matt Bowen talking about him being a perfect fit for the Chiefs offense. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Better now than later. We have another pick in 13 picks, so we can address other issues then if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I think we ought to take a wide receiver. It seems to be getting a little bit bare as to guys that are going to actually be able to contribute.
Okay, Jalen Tolbert, welcome to Kansas City. And we will tick it on down to 94, which is our next pick, then followed by 112. And so we've moved around multiple times, but we've gotten some good things done. I think at this point we're going to not focus on wide receivers and see who the best available is. And you're into that area of linebackers that probably can help you. Leo Chanel is a good athlete, but he is a straightforward downhill kind of guy. He's not a turn and run coverage type guy. If you want that at the linebacker level, Troy Anderson is here. That's where you would have to go, in my opinion. There are some backup tight ends here available that you could look at as well. And then we get into the dev edges, the dev CBs, both positions that they need a lot of depth at, as well as the corner group. I'm not seeing safeties that I'm interested in, to tell you the truth. I'm going to look at them all right now. Belton, Weatherford, Cooks down low.
It's been picked over.
Yeah. Well, for the most part.
Well, at 94, it's been picked over. So
exactly. At this point, I would wait on that as well. And I do like Cook. I think Cook is probably around, I don't know, 115 to 125 is my guess. So I'd target him with the next pick at 112 that we have and try to come back with the safety there. So what stands out to you at this position?
To me, I think they're still short of linebacker. So to me, it's either linebacker or, I mean, getting James Cook here, I think could be a great fit for Kansas City just down the line, but that seems more of a luxury than anything else. I think if you have an edge that you think was going to go before 112, then that's another pick that you should maybe look at, because I still think they need multiple. But
Sam Williams probably will, although he's as much, I think, a question mark as Tyreek Smith, MyJ Sanders, or D'Angelo Malone that we should have a shot at 112 as well. So,
yeah, I think you look at linebacker then. Because if you get that position taken care of, then you're sitting there and you can play base a lot more than you have been able to in the past, and that's going to help in a lot of ways.
True. Okay, so let's look. Really, there's only one guy here. Leo Chanel, I think, is limited and isn't going to play on third down, is the way it comes down to me in the Chiefs system. So it's Troy Anderson or Troy Anderson.
There you go. I think it's Troy Anderson then.
I think it is. Welcome to Kansas City at 94. Now we're ticking down to 112. We're going to see what comes. James Cook does go off the board, as does Sam Williams and Tyreek Smith. And now sitting at 112, we look at the dev edges, MyJ Sanders and D'Angelo Malone, both of whom, especially given that we already secured one, I love the idea of D'Angelo Malone because he comes off the edge like a screaming eagle. And he's got things he has to work on. He has to refine himself. He has to be able to take on a little bit more to set the edge. But as a designated pass rusher, he's a guy that I really like later in the draft here.
And that's my question. Do you think he can be a designated pass rusher in 2022? If he can, you take him here and you go on down the road.
Yes, I do actually. Let's take a look at who's there at safety, though, because we were talking about those guys. We still have an opportunity to get Cook or Weatherford here in a little bit. And I like Jerome McKinley. He's not the in-the-box type, but he can help you as well as a coverage type safety. We did go to the corners. We have arrived at that, but Simon McCollum's still on the board, will be. Jalen Watson's still going to be on the board, so is Kobe Bryant. Like, there's options for that as well. So I think it is time to double dip at the edge, and D'Angelo Malone would be my pick.
Take him.
Done. So now we have a lot of youth at the edge position and a mixture there. Johnson can do it all. Malone's a designated come in on third down guy and wreak some havoc. Like, the NASCAR package for this team would be impressive, to tell you the truth. Declining that. So we are on the clock here at 135. And that brings us back to, okay, all the edges that I would have wanted have gone. So that was a decent pick there. We go back to the safety group. Looks like a lot of them got picked up early as well. So it would be McKinley probably for me. Smoke Monday's a long shot. He would probably be a little bit farther down on day 3. Kobe Bryant is still available. Another corner.
What about tackle?
Tackle looks like best available here. The most athletic is Kellen Dyche. Probably the best overall film grade is going to be Max Mitchell at this point. So it'd be between two of those. Vidarian Lowe is a guy that the Chiefs have spoken to, but he's a little bit farther down.
Are any of them guys that you think can actually be a starter at the right tackle?
Probably not year one. I think Mitchell or Dice could grow into that, but it would require having either Wiley or Niang play for now.
Well, I think Wiley's there for that.
But that's
purpose.
what a depth tackle is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So at 135, it still looks like you're a little bit of a reach. What else do they have available?
That is the bulk of it, of what can actually help them. I mean,
Jelani Woods.
Really athletic tight end. Now you get into the Rashad Whites. The Jerome Ford, I think, is the sleeper after Cook that is probably the best running back. Here we're in the 4th round. You know, and honestly, I would take Kobe Bryant and call it a draft is what I would do.
Finish it up then.
All right. Kobe Bryant, corner from Cincinnati in the house. I like college football playoff participants. When they come in, that was our last pick for the 4 rounds. So this is what we accomplished. By moving up to 11, we're able to get Jermaine Johnson. We chose not to take the wide receiver, Jameson Williams, in that situation, relying on what I think right now is probably the bigger need is edge. Then we came back with Kyler Gordon, the corner out of Washington. The interior defensive lineman, Travis Jones, at 50. And Gordon was at 36. We did move that one back a little bit as well. Then came up to 81, took Jalen Tolbert, the South Alabama wideout that I know a lot of Chiefs fans like, and put him into this offense as a guy that can find his way amongst the top 3 right now. Came back after that, 94, with Troy Anderson, a coverage linebacker that I think can play in the base as a Sam as well. Good movement skills. His take-on's a little iffy at times, but that I think is something he can grow into. Came back with D'Angelo Malone, a speed edge that I think will grow into somebody who can hunt the quarterback really effectively, and finish with Kobe Bryant, the other corner from Cincinnati. And you've bolstered that defense that's been lacking in a number of ways. So I'm pretty happy with it. How are you?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I think that you addressed a lot of issues. And while Travis Jones may be a little bit of a question mark, as interior defensive line isn't something that is looked at as a big need, pass rush definitely is, and he is going to help in that regard. So I think you can get Absolutely. After the QB in that regard. And I hate saying this, but that also gives you a little bit of plan for after Chris Jones, if Chris Jones isn't here going forward.
Oh, we're not talking about that today. No, We're done with that, folks. Let us know what you think of this mock draft. Put your comments in the YouTube. Also put it over on the Spotify and iTunes reviews. We would love to hear from you. That's what we got done today. Tomorrow we'll dig back into another position group, how it's cost effective, how it reflects on what they still have to do draft-wise, and what could be the aftermath. Maybe in like the 7th free agency period, it feels like, which will be after the draft as we get ready for the summer. So a lot still coming next week. We'll have our guests back as always. Thank you for spending your time. Thanks for listening to this, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.